We continue our coverage of the final voter registration weekend. Political parties are crisscrossing the country, encouraging voters to register in KwaZulu-Natal. There are calls for political tolerance during this busy weekend. KZN leader Francois Rodgers joins me now to chat more. Mr. Rodgers, always good to speak to you. Appreciate your time. Are you amongst those political parties that are crisscrossing the country in this final weekend of voter registration?
Indeed. Good afternoon and good afternoon to the viewers. I'm not crisscrossing the country, but I'm crisscrossing KwaZulu-Natal. And I've spent most of the day in eThekwini today. And interestingly enough, it's been a busier start than the first registration weekend, which is really positive. And one hopes that it continues. It's glorious weather in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. For once, it's not raining. So, people have that opportunity to get out. And as you were saying in your last insert, into what is the final registration weekend and the importance of ensuring your registration and your correct registration.
So, Mr. Rodgers, let's talk about your message to the people of KZN. What is that message?
The message is quite simple. And I think, my message today has been about the youth of our country. 1994, we had democracy, and, many of our elder people fought for that democracy. We haven't achieved economic democracy in our country. We still have huge challenges with unemployment, and I think it's for that very reason that our young, unregistered voters need to now play a critical role in the future of the country. 2024 is going to be an important election. It's going to be as important as what 1994 was. And I think the youth must play an active role so that we can get economic freedom and not just political freedom. I think that's critically important for our country to progress.
What's equally important is to convince the youth themselves to register and vote. I mean, a number of reports that we get, and we have several of our reporters on the ground today, and the response from the young people is yes, they've registered to vote, but many of them are not really sure if they actually want to vote. I think untold frustrations around NSFAS, as an example, are some of those issues that may prevent them from voting. How are you likely to address this issue? Because the young people are a rather important constituent for all parties.
Well, I think that's all the more reason that our young unregistered voters need to get involved. Because it is through democracy and through the process of electing parties and individuals to governance that you can actually address some of the concerns that face the youth, such as the education, the tertiary education, the funding of these various institutes, and the models of funding for the students. That is why we need young people to be part of this process. And we will continue as parties, and I think every party needs to take up that responsibility, to urge, to educate, and to ignite the interest in the youth, in our democracy, and in the challenges that we face moving forward.
Now, we've been speaking to the IEC most of this morning, at least listening to them for a significant part of this morning, and they've just confirmed that the 27 million mark of registered voters has been breached. Your reaction to this number?
Well, that's great. Every single additional registration is exciting and is so critical. And that 27 million mark was a wonderful mark that we achieved. I heard that a day or two ago, and hopefully at the end of this registration weekend, and there is some time, as you heard earlier, from the IEC, people will still be able to register online and there are various other formats where they can register until the President promulgates the election. So, let's hope we can get closer to the 28 million mark now.